What is up, everybody? To Reverse TV today, and we have to talk about how Sony has doubled down on their stance, saying they will not be releasing its first-party games on PlayStation Plus on day one. They say it is working and will continue to be our strategy moving forward, and that is the reason why I prefer Xbox, because Xbox releases their stuff day one on their Game Pass service, while PlayStation doesn't, and it's like. And you look in the comment section, it's even more pathetic because you got their fan base, the Sony fanboys, cheering this on like it's a good thing. It's like, yes, charge us more. Give us a trash service that only gives us old games. Yes. It's like, really? What is wrong with these guys? It's like literally whatever Sony says. It could be a completely negative thing for them. They were still cheering on. It's like, what is wrong with these guys? But I don't know. But that's definitely a Sony strategy moving forward. Like I have not been impressed by PlayStation Plus lately. Like it's been like I said, a whole bunch of old games that I played before in the past, or it's games you could probably get at your local game store for like $10 to $20 at most, and that's like their most highlighted games at this point. So I'm not too impressed with the service. So I'm glad I'm an Xbox user primarily because they release the great games day one. That's pretty much like you have a Netflix and they don't give you like the Stranger Things when that releases, the new season releases, but you gotta pay a premium, then wait to get it later, at a later date. That's what Sony is doing right now, and I really feeling that method right now. But let's see what people have to say about this Sony's decision. Dudes are just celebrating corporate greed over their own savings in this comment section. You hate to see it. The bootlickers have assembled. And that's why Xbox plus Game Pass is the best choice for anyone who calls themselves gamers. Day one for the win. And that right there is why PlayStation Plus will never have the same user base that Game Pass has. Xbox will tell you that you save money that they don't tell your favorite game on Game Pass may lose its license and be removed from when they have to. Then you have to go and buy it now. You spend months of money on Game Pass and now have to buy it again. Okay. So you wrote all that to talk about the Quantum Break situation. Quantum Break left, but it came back to Game Pass. So it was a bad example. I was like, really? Sure, it left, but it came back. So whatever. The comments in this thread go like this: a bunch of clowns. Yeah, because people are really supporting this decision from Sony. They can't even give you guys a crumb. You know, all them consoles you're buying from Sony, and all these so-called exclusives you're buying from Sony, they couldn't even give you a crumb by putting one of these exclusives in the service. Like, jeez. Oh man, it's just funny the relationship Sony has with their user base. It's like they do the most terrible decisions, but their consumer base still like supports them wholeheartedly. It's their choice to do so, but having the ability and choice to play a game first and the option to buy it is another level of smartness. Game Pass is untouchable in gaming. Yeah, I always say Game Pass is the best service so far. Of course, they want to charge $70 for their one and done 10-hour interactive movies. Sony knows that its customers like it rough. No Vaseline with a hint of abuse. Jeez. I know that's a good thing. Sony bankruptcy awaits. Locker games are $70, not on PS Plus day one, or Sony goes bankrupt quicker. Okay. Very few are worth buying day one, and not a single one is worth $70. I still have yet to pay $70 for any new PS5 game. Greatness awaits, as they just laugh at that statement at this point. I wonder what will happen when the live service games come out. Yeah, that's gonna be even worse. It's like, you should at least put those games in the PS Plus day one, because live service depends on being like pretty much free at that point. So I don't know how they're gonna do this. Like, it's a weird strategy going forward, especially as they're focusing on those games as service type games. It's a weird strategy not to put on their subscription service day one. Till Sony makes great games, the strategy will be accepted by Sony gamers. That simple. Xbox still has the big issues with great exclusive games. What is this clown talking about? Starfield is one of the most talked about games in human history right now, gaming in general. But you know, Xbox can't make great games. Okay. I've had the PS5 since its release, and I had never paid for PS Plus. I just buy the few exclusives I really care about, and the rest I go to Steam or pay 1 month of Game Pass. If there's something good, I don't have enough time for games to justify paying a monthly sub. Okay. He's not missing out on too much because they're, like I said before, their games, the PlayStation Plus service it's night and day difference between that service and Game Pass at this point. So not really missing out on too much. This just makes me glad I have Game Pass. I doubt I could ever use this service if I'm buying the games discounted a year after release. Okay. Why would they? Xbox only did it because they weren't achieving game sales. Some of these games cost 150 to 200 million to make, so much risk putting them on a service. Disney doesn't put out its premium film straight to subscription either for a reason. I kind of to an extent, yeah, but they don't put any games. At least Disney puts some of their big titles on Disney Plus day one. Sony doesn't do that for anything, except for like they gave you Stray day one, which gave you a crumb with that, but I don't know. I just don't like that. I just don't like that. They just won't give you anything on their service. It's like, what's the purpose of even having a service in at that point if you're not gonna get any major games in that service, unless they're like super old at that point. I don't know. I have been thinking about how many $70 copies Microsoft is foregoing for Starfield. Just an insane amount of revenue there. Will people sign up for Game Pass for it? Sure, but like, wow, good for players, I guess. Okay. Thank God for Game Pass. Okay. Strategy, I think they're confused. The word is greed. Day one games is great value for all gamers, but full price games is great for Sony shareholders' pockets. And that's even if the consumer base even buy those first party games like that. Because there has been reports of these first party games not even doing as well as like the major third party games like Call of Duty or whatever, like a FIFA or whatever casual third party game was popular at the time. So the people who want Sony, who are profitable consistently, make their candidate games and are the market leader. To copy Xbox, who are unprofitable in last place among major console makers and only still exist because their losses are absorbed by Microsoft, aren't okay in the head. Let's be honest about that first party place from Sony. The average casual person who talks about PS5 talks about these big third party games, like I said, Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, NBA 2K. They aren't clamoring about these first party games. So it's like Sony fanboys really like to confuse it, like they don't know the difference. But yeah, the average casual person who says they talk about PS5 is talking about third party games. It's like Sony is like the trendy thing as like how Apple is with the iPhone. People can't tell you why they got an iPhone. They just say, hey, iPhone is better. They can't really tell you why. Same thing with the PlayStation. So I don't buy this excuse that he's using right here. Well, no crap. Microsoft can swallow that pill, the loss of potential profits, a lot easier than Sony, since Sony needs gaming to make a lot of money, since besides the music division is their main money maker, while gaming is a side project for Microsoft. Okay. The dumb Sony fan base praises this instead of demanding better prices and better PS Plus, which is a real shocking thing, is that you would think the fan base would at least demand better, but nope, they just cheered on because Sony says go with it. It's just hilarious. Translation, not putting them on PS Plus, it makes us more money. Yeah. Today we celebrate spending more for less. Tomorrow Sony announces certain games will be day and date, and we will celebrate like a Microsoft have been doing it for years now. Pretty much is what these Sony guys do in the comment section. Oh man, you're literally celebrating them. You're literally celebrating them telling you we're not going to put these games in the service. That's terrible. Hell yeah, make it make sense to own a PS5 and not the other way around. Wait, what? He says, make it make sense to own a PS5 and not the other way around. Is this some weird way of justifying this quote from Sony? I don't know. It's just weird. I'm not happy with this, but I get it. They don't have the budget that Xbox does, thanks to Microsoft backing them. And that means they need every dollar they can to earn from those day one sales. Oh, Sony, the poor indie company. However, would they continue with putting some of their games day one? Bruh, that is crazy. People are defending this nonsense. Sony is a scam. Thank God for Game Pass. Sony is the Twitch of video game publishers. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I'm assuming it's a bad thing here. If that just makes sense, it will make sense if you want to maximize sales and still make your service more appealing, then the games eventually make it there. Yeah, no thanks. This is why Game Pass will always be superior, and eventually Sony will just follow Xbox like they always have. No innovation, always imitation with Sony. One of these PlayStation supporters going to learn Sony doesn't like you at all. Oh man. This is the reason PlayStation titles are prestigious and amazing games, and why Xbox titles are making compromises and sacrificing friend. What? Oh man, really? He is justifying saying he's even like going above and beyond saying justifying as by saying PlayStation games are just prestigious. This guy's a clown. Sony really has their fans under some type of spell at this point because it's like, geez, they're literally champion getting more for less. It's just wild, but that's their fan base. I don't know. This is probably the same fan base as to why they review bomb games 3 months in advance if it's on a rival competition because they're so like under a spell from Sony at this point. It's like, why would you not want them to put great games day one in the PlayStation Plus service instead you can like these super old games that no one really cares about anymore? I don't know. It's just weird, but that's what I like. That's what I prefer playing on Xbox. It's like Xbox users don't have this problem. We even got major third-party games going day one as well. But you know, Sony fans, they don't know anything about that, but they champion it as well. They justify it. So very weird takes from these guys celebrating for getting more for less when Xbox does even better, way better than what Sony is doing with their subscription services. But I don't know. I'm gonna conclude it right here. Sony fans are just weird in my opinion, but each to each their own, I guess. But definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.